Well, hello and welcome to the Ropox Vision table series. Today, you're talking to Lancaster, Pennsylvania. That's where we're at. So we welcome those who've joined us today for this session. This is being recorded, so any questions that you have, if you're not wanting to ask them live, we're going to have some chat. And so this is Dwayne Stauffer, and behind the camera we have Ron Rook, and this is a continuation of our winter series regarding tables as an adjustable product. So as we go through that, the format today is probably going to be about 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes. If we're sharing the screen, which I think we still are, we can kind of maybe end with a summary of what the tables are. Sometimes we start in the beginning, so we'll just do the video part first, and at the end, we'll kind of get and narrate a summary of these tables. Today, there's kind of four categories of adjustable tables that we want to kind of show. And these tables are actually suitable for various type of settings, including healthcare, rehab hospitals, senior living, individual homes, education, or the scholastic setting. And those are just some of the highlights of where an adjustable table, which we're going to go through what the values are for both somebody who's using it and maybe somebody who's helping to provide care or involved in that setting. So the first category of tables are what we call the Vision series. I actually have two of them here. And so we're going to walk you through some of those different features in the items. You'll see over here on this side, we actually have a table that's set low. And over here, I have one set a little bit higher. So one of the values of a table is if you're in a situation where there's different needs in a rehab gym, and we want to do some type of working on fine motor skills or doing an activity, and throughout the day it changes, or in a certain setting, you have different therapy sessions, you need a table that's going to adjust for that. So right here's a table that I've set pretty low. If I was a wheelchair user, in this table, I can turn around. I've actually set this very well positioned where I can actually use a table for a wheelchair type of setting. Now, all these tables that we're referencing that are height adjustable have different ranges of how high they can go or low. And they also have different methods that you're going to lower them or raise them. So to start, I'm just going to show you here that this table, which is high-low, is in a manual way. And so for us, all that simply means is we can take a handle here on the side, and there's several positions of what we're going to do with the handle. But if I take this and just simply crank this, right now I could raise this table up. And if you look at by reference, comparing it to the other table, you see that raising, all right? So this table can be adjusted approximately about 20 inches of a range for this use. Most of these tables then also have a feature where they are, this series 1 of 4, Vision means we're able to actually get a book or any activity in front of our eyes. We do that with a tilting top. The way you tilt the top is actually take the same handle, and on the side, we actually have a position here where we can actually move it to another area. There's basically just 2 ways that you can do this. So you move it to the back, move it to the front. And actually, you can see now that I could have this totally flat. These Vision tables go from 0 to 70 degrees as far as that inclination. So right now, I have this set up as a flat table. These tables are also available in an electric operation. We don't have any here today to show you, but that simply would be a button on one side where you can move the table up and down, and a button on the other side where you actually can raise or lower that inclination or change the tilting top. These Vision table series come in 2 lengths and various configurations of tops. So the only difference really between this table and the table here I'm going to show you in a minute is 2 things. This has a length that's basically 47 inches. So think of this as 4 feet long. The other option length that's standard is 36, 3 feet beside me. One of the reasons you might want a different length is because of what you're going to do with the table as far as how you're going to use it. Some folks have suggested that while these are activity tables in a group setting, you can have them around, but also individually is how these are focused. The longer tables, somebody asked in a recent session if they're able to slide over a small twin bed, and depending on your sizing, this one is really close, meaning it's wide in the dimension underneath the legs. You can slide that over a table. But the configuration of what you want this top to look like, there's about 6 different choices. And so this one, if you saw it earlier, we'll show this on the screen in the summary, but this one is what we call a middle adjustable, right? So when I crank this, I'm changing a middle position. Just putting in an angle, and then each side happens to actually be staying flat. All right. That's one of about 6 configurations that are standard. One of those other configurations, as I just move this off to the side and show you, will be the 3-foot version here beside, and I'll also show you some of the options that come with this. 3-foot table. This again is a Vision series table, so just for shorter length. Has a different configuration on the top. So again, same handle idea, cranking. So this one is what some people call a 1/3, 2/3. What we often reference as a 60-40 split. So in this particular top, you're just raising the one side and able to keep the other side flat. So again, one side only, and then the whole top is raising. Same 70-degree angle, same up and down mechanisms. Some of the options that have been popular, or you might think about depending on your use, I'm going to go through at this time. One of the options is arm supports, depending on what type of wheelchair you were using, or depending on what your needs are. It's nice to have an arm support here or an extra extended pad almost. These basically are designed that they can be added after the fact, not initially, not required initially, but they basically just a pair, they snap onto this front piece. So again, they can be removed, they can be added, they have a lock underneath. So they come as a pair, basically left and right. So that would be an arm support option. One of the other things that you see here is what's really unique about this first table series, the Vision, it actually has a composite grade infection prevention top. It's gray in color. That's the only standard color that's being stocked in the United States. And it actually has a metal backing. And so it allows a magnet ruler concept. Mag ruler is what we call it. 2 different lengths. You see one here, and I'm going to show you the longer. And so that just allows books, allows different activities to be done. In your setting. So if you're reading, you can put an iPad, you can put small laptops, able to do that. Painting activities, that's all done with the mag ruler. So again, magnets can kind of go anywhere on the surface, and you can add or mix and match them. So basically long and a short, and you can combine them, whatever you want to do with them. These tables are also set up, if we maybe move the camera down a little bit. These are also set up where by wheels, you have a couple options. They come standard without wheels that move and free rotate. So those applications would be for if you just have kind of a designated area and you're basically just want to slide it and move it a little bit. But in group settings where you're in a large facility, or if you're doing a lot of moving around, you can get basically these casters that are all locked. Toe up, toe down, we call it. So all 4 are locked. In this particular arrangement, they're actually on straight legs. The bottom part of the T leg here is completely straight. So it's actually going to raise the whole table about 3 inches. If that is important to you, that you want to keep maybe a low height, you can also get that back to this model. I'm going to zoom in fashion. Same wheel setup, but we're going to put it on a lower T base. So we call that a non-rising height option. So again, this would have the traditional height that no wheels has. This one over here, you're actually going to raise the overall height of the table, about 3 inches. There are a couple other pen holder options. And again, we'll summarize a couple of those things as we go through the share screen at the end. Electric, basically, option is that we're going to be able to plug that in to a cord, take the cord, plug it in to any regular outlet, and then that's going to allow the table to just go up and down with a simple push of a button. These tables are really designed for wheelchair, various height wheelchair, and ambulatory walk-up. These tables do kind of have, in a traditional setting, a max height, which just for the point of this video, I'll show you the max height of this table that we're in. If you're doing a lot of just ambulatory users and you need something that goes higher, they actually make this in what's called a vision high-low version, actually goes much higher. So let me just show you what that looks like. And we don't have one of those to show you here today. So this is fine for most people who are maybe ergonomics, want to use it at your desk, depending on an application. So good working height, right? If I was doing laptop work here, good working height. But if you need something that goes even higher by range, they do make what's basically called a high version of the Ropox table. So as we think about this first series, this is the most popular of the tables, the Vision series. Again, we'll summarize a little bit in a moment what all those configurations are and give you a snapshot. The second series is called the Ergo series. And the Ergo basically has a lot of the same features. It will also limit some features. So we call this the Ergo, or what's known as the basic series. You see a table that doesn't have quite the same design of leg, but it still holds the same weight capacity, which the capacities on these are 220 pounds. But the way you adjust this one is the exact same over here, but the way for up and down, the way the tilting works is not with the handle. You're able to simply take this and find a predetermined height or inclination, and it doesn't go quite as tall as the 70 degrees. So again, you're able to take this table with some of the same configuration, different tops on it, and actually adjust it by pulling up. No magnet option, so a little better value price point on this, and no electric option. This table is only available, the Ergo series, as a manual turning version. Same caster setup options are available, meaning you can get this thing stationary. It's just going to kind of sit. Or as you can see here, we've got one of the wheel option, caster options on the base. This is the Ergo series of product. The third table, which is kind of a connection of these, we don't have here, but we're going to show you on the actual on the screen. That would be if you need some adjustable tables. We call them the specialty series. They actually make them really large. So they're a group setting. So you can take this whole concept and get 2 or 3 people around it. So it's larger. You lose your tilting top function. So we'll show you some pictures of that on the screen. One of the other specialty is you can take one of this concept of a table and you actually can have a cutout U shape. So if you're a therapist and you want to get even a little bit closer, or if somebody needs to kind of get inside of the normal rectangle shape, we'll show you that specialty style table as well. The last table is actually what we call a 4-single table. And that's the idea. It actually comes out of our kitchen series of product, but we have one here. And that's the concept. Maybe we just move the camera around to see this one here. It's the idea that if you need really large, or if you're doing some group sessions, we produce lots of different length options of this black, matte black table that's got 4 legs. And you can turn it with a hand crank, or you have the electric up-down option. and you can make this thing really as large as you want. When I say large, this thing can get about 6 feet wide and up to 10 feet long. So in rehab therapy gyms, if we're looking for a larger, maybe say a 4x7 type of table, we can do it in that one specialty model, but this gives you a lot of choices. For example, all these other tables that we've just talked about all come with that same gray, nice, durable top. But this table actually comes where you can choose any type of top on this. You can get rounded corners, laminate corners. We can work with that, or if somebody is building a building, they can choose whatever top they want. And so that's one of the unique features. This happens to be a kind of a rounded top, rounded edged, durable premium laminate table that's available. So this happens to be a small 2x4 type of table. Again, one of the things, these would come just quickly with some standard feet. This happens to be on wheels. As I move it around here for you with locks, the way this again goes up and down. If I'm standing here doing work, I can just simply press this button. This happens to be the battery backup version. You can use that, probably will last all day for your up and downs. Then you plug it in at night, has a little charger. So again, wheelchair use, I can basically bring that wheelchair in and be at a great height. My elbows are not getting damaged. I can reach different aspects of the table if I'm in a wheelchair for this. This table in the electric plug-in version or the manual version is available in some predetermined sizes, but again, a lot of options on this table if somebody's looking for options and features for that. So with that, I'm not sure, we will again check if there's any chat messages that we can respond to. And so as we're kind of looking at that, I'm also going to kind of finish up this visual part of the video, and we'll be sharing our screen to kind of summarize the tables for that. So we're going to do that at this point. And this is Dwayne behind the camera and Ron behind the camera here. And we're just going to move to a summary. We'll be turning off the video, the live part of that. So again, to summarize these tables, we have an option to just walk you through some of the, this is a summary of tables that is available for those who have a need. We can send this out as a follow-up, but we're going to walk through in basic detail. This was the first table that we went through, the vision table. We went through it again, showing 2 lengths, different configurations of tops, which you'll see. The second one, the high-low, is basically just going to get you to a higher stance or a higher vertical if you need. Here are those configurations. We call them variations. You can see here, they're labeled A, B, C, D, E, just showing a little bit the differences on if you wanted to tilt as a whole top, that's variation B right there. If you want to split in a longer length, that's version E right here. So again, our most popular table is the Vision Series table. The second table we went through was called the Ergo series. There you see the gentleman in that picture. So there's an application. The third specialty tables we're going to show you next, which would be here. You see some larger group settings. Again, 1 color laminate top. These, I think I mentioned, but if not, these are only available in the manual version, going up and down. And in that specialty series, here's also the cutout version, where again, depending on your application, gives you some options as a therapist to get closer, and the individual that's being using the table and being worked with as well. And so as we kind of finish up this series, we thank you for the opportunity to share part of the Ropox series of adjustable products. If anybody's interested, depending on how this post goes out, we will also be sharing links for other series that are available to learn about the other products. And with that, limited questions. And so thank you again and enjoy the day.